Is coffee healthy or unhealthy? Obviously, this is extremely situationally dependent. And one thing we can do is delineate between coffee and caffeine. Coffee can be both caffeinated or decaffeinated. Caffeine is the molecule inside of coffee that gives you the benefits that most people are looking for, including an increase in physical and mental energy. So let's first talk about coffee. Coffee itself actually appears to be the main contributor of polyphenols in the Japanese and most likely in the American diet, contributing 47% or approximately half of their total polyphenol intake, followed by green tea, black tea, chocolate, beer, and soy sauce. And in America, it's probably quite the same, because the other sources of polyphenols are things like fruits, vegetables, herbs, and spices, which most people aren't eating a lot of. The consumption of coffee, with the largest benefits actually coming from intakes between 3 and 4 cups a day, brings about a decrease in all-cause mortality, cardiovascular mortality, and cardiovascular disease, and also reduces the risk of cancer. Another study indicated that compared with no consumption, 1 or more cups per day is associated with a decreased risk of all-cause mortality. Regarding the type of coffee, only the overall consumption of caffeinated coffee is associated with a lower risk of all-cause mortality. But remember, these are associational studies. And you do have to think that those drinking decaffeinated coffee may be doing so because they are intolerant to caffeine. And this is due to a specific enzyme in the liver that is also responsible for the detoxification of other harmful molecules. Therefore, if you are low on this enzyme, you're probably drinking decaffeinated coffee. But you may also be more predisposed to having issues detoxifying against harmful agents. Therefore, these people may also be more predisposed to side effects from drugs or other toxic agents. However, it does appear that moderate coffee consumption containing caffeine lowers the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. And caffeine intake should be limited to about 400 milligrams per day in healthy adults and about 300 milligrams per day in women of reproductive age. Another thing to know is that caffeine intake in adolescents is actually associated with an increased caloric intake and increased prevalence of obesity. And this is likely not because of the coffee, because each cup of black coffee has less than 5 calories, but it's likely because most of the coffee consumed by adolescents looks much less like a black cup of coffee and more similar to a dessert or milkshake. So in the grand scheme of things, it does look like the consumption of coffee, both decaffeinated and caffeinated, does have many beneficial effects. What is still yet to be determined is if caffeine coming from energy drinks, pre-workouts, or other caffeine sources is as beneficial as coffee, or whether or not it's the polyphenols and other beneficial compounds that have the beneficial lifespan and health span extending effects. We also don't know how the addition of things like sweeteners or other compounds added to coffee may increase or decrease the positive effects. We do know that in children, caffeine is associated with an increased caloric intake, and this is likely because most of their caffeine is coming from energy drinks and extremely calorically dense coffee beverages. But with the evidence we have available today, it does appear that the consumption of coffee may actually improve your health and longevity. With that being said, if you would like an individualized approach to your nutrition and lifestyle to optimize your health, energy, and body composition, send me a DM to sign up for coaching.